after a bad breakup with her boyfriend, Momo Ayase briefly defends a loner student from some bullies. Shortly after the period ends, the two get into an argument over an occult magazine, as the student believes in the existence of extraterrestrial aliens, while Momo believes in the existence of supernatural entities. Momo and the student then challenge each other to prove their respective beliefs are real, with Momo going to an abandoned hospital to contact a UFO, and the student going to an isolated tunnel to find a spirit. Suddenly, both are validated when the student gets possessed by a spirit named Turbo Granny, while Momo is abducted by aliens called the Serpo, who claim they want to mate with her as an experiment. The student and Turbo Granny are able to enter the UFO through Momo's discarded cell phone, while Momo remembers the words of her grandmother and gains psychokinetic powers as the two join forces to beat up the Serpoians and crash the UFO back down to Earth. The student then introduces himself as Ken Takakura, the same name as the actor Momo idolizes. Momo and Ken, who is then nicknamed Okarun by Momo, go to Momo's grandmother's house to recuperate as Momo holds Okarun's curse at bay. There, they are attacked by a monster that resembles a sumo wrestler who traps them within the property's realm. Initially believing the monster is an evil spirit, they soon realize it is actually the Flatwoods monster. Okarun forces Momo to release her powers, holding off the curse to fight off the alien, which transforms him into a yokai form that balances him and Turbo Granny. Despite this, they do not deal enough damage to the alien, who wounds Okarun. Momo lures the alien to the property's gate, allowing herself to be punched by the alien to be pushed out the gate's boundaries. She grabs Okarun and places a talisman that wards off spirits at the gate, burning the alien as they are freed from its realm. Relieved they won, Momo passes out from exhaustion. Without her powers keeping the curse in check, Turbo Granny fully possesses Okarun. Momo's grandmother and spirit medium Seiko arrives home and incapacitates the possessed Okarun. After regaining consciousness, a worried Momo asks Seiko what happened to Okarun. Seiko points to the property's shrine, where Okarun is being kept safe. Momo explains to her grandmother of Okarun's situation, while also revealing her newfound ability to use psychokinetic powers. Seiko expounds on the circumstances of Turbo Granny, adding she had fused with a stronger location-bound crab spirit found in the tunnel. Despite Seiko's warning to not fight the spirit, Momo is determined to help Okarun, prompting Seiko to tell Momo and Okarun that Turbo Granny's power is weaker in the city outskirts. Turbo Granny later appears and tells Momo they must fight her in the tunnel, threatening to use Okarun's curse to kill more people if they do not comply. Left with no other options, Seiko blesses Momo and Okarun with protective clothing, and the two head for the tunnel to fight Turbo Granny. After arriving at the tunnel, Momo and Okarun plan to lure Turbo Granny to the city outskirts to defeat her, but they are immediately cornered by Turbo Granny, who takes away Okarun's curse. Remembering Seiko's advice, Momo goads her to a game of tag, distracting her long enough for Momo and Okarun to capture her and regain Okarun's curse. They attempt to run for the outskirts and escape the crab spirit and corpses possessed by Turbo Granny to no avail, despite Okarun using his yokai form to outrun them. Turbo Granny also breaks free from Momo's grasp. Momo exploits Turbo Granny on a train running faster than her. The train passes the city outskirts, and Momo and Okarun, with the help of Seiko, defeat Turbo Granny and presumably free Okarun from the curse. They return to the tunnel to pay their respects after learning Turbo Granny originally set out to comfort the spirits of girls who were victims of sexual assault and died horrible deaths. Momo later tells Okarun she is looking forward to seeing him the next day, much to Okarun's delight. As Momo and Okarun begin to bond at school, they get into a quarrel when Momo's friends misinterpret them as a couple after seeing them accidentally kiss. Okarun goes to the bathroom to relieve himself, where he makes a startling discovery. He then runs to Momo's classroom and asks to talk to her, but is turned away. At the end of classes, Okarun bumps into a student and apologizes to her as the student shows her friendliness. Momo later overhears the student making fun of Okarun. Angered, Momo uses her powers to injure the student. Okarun soon reveals to Momo that despite retrieving his banana, he has now lost his balls, prompting the two to seek Seiko. Seiko performs a ritual on Okarun, and Momo pulls out a spirit from him, which possesses a nearby Maneki Neko doll. The doll is revealed to be the consciousness of Turbo Granny, who explains she possessed Okarun before being defeated. Despite Turbo Granny no longer possessing him, Okarun is still able to transform to his yokai form, which Seiko reveals only her spiritual powers remain in him. Upon being confronted, the powerless Turbo Granny reveals she has no idea where she placed Okarun's balls. Turbo Granny explains that Okarun's balls, which are now golden Kintama, are infused with her aura that draws spirits to it. At school, the student who picked on Okarun, Ira Shiratori, remarks on being able to see Momo's powers as Ira pulls out a Kintama, which she took in the aftermath of Momo and Okarun's fight with Turbo Granny. Turbo Granny sees this and informs the two, sensing that Ira awakened to her spiritual powers. Ira confronts Momo and Okarun and asks to speak with Momo. Ira then attempts to exorcise her. Okarun and Turbo Granny rush to Momo's aid, but Okarun states Ira is being targeted as a figure in a pink dress captures her and calls themselves Ira's mother. Okarun and Momo fight the figure, and Okarun is swallowed by her. Turbo Granny learns the figure is a spirit named Acrobatic Silky. When Ira calls the spirit a monster, Acrobatic Silky also swallows her before doing the same to Momo. Acrobatic Silky suddenly burns as Granny lit her hair using Era's crosslighter, forcing her to free the trio. Momo and Okarun distract Acrobatic Silky long enough to defeat her, and they retrieve Okarun's Kintama from Ira. However, the two realize Era died due to being unable to handle a spirit as an ordinary human. As a result, Acrobatic Silky offers to revive Ira by passing her aura to the latter. Momo connects their auras and sees Acrobatic Silky's past, revealing she was a single mother who worked odd jobs, including prostitution, to support her daughter and pay off a debt. Loan sharks eventually broke into their home and assaulted the mother, abducting her daughter in the process. These events drove the mother to commit suicide. Her spirit wandered around for some time until a young Aira, who was dealing with the loss of her mother, sensed and mistook her for her own. Seeing this, the spirit vowed to protect Era, transforming into Acrobatic Silky. Era is revived, and Momo is left in tears with the revelation as Acrobatic Silky withers away. After witnessing her past, Era embraces and comforts Acrobatic Silky, praying she may find peace and swearing to not forget her. Despite being saved by Momo and Okarun, Era remains adamant in believing Momo is a demon and plans to free Okarun from her control. Turbo Granny also reattaches Okarun's Kintama to his body. Momo grows uneasy with Okarun splitting off from her at school and later sees him being on top of Era. A few minutes earlier, Okarun split off from Momo to exercise when he was found by Era. Ira awkwardly confessed her feelings to Okarun and they argued until Era tripped him, leaving the two at the position Momo found them in. Okarun attempts to clear the confusion, but a jealous Momo refuses to listen. As classes continue, Okarun notices the school flooding and his classmates disappearing, leading him to meet with Ira, and he reasons they are trapped in a realm similar to his fight with the Flatwoods monster. Elsewhere, Momo hides from an alien resembling a plesiosaur as Okarun and Era are confronted by a mantis shrimp-like alien. The Serpoians return and they capture Okarun and incapacitate Era. As they plan to experiment on Okarun, Era awakens to Acrobatic Silky's powers and stops the Serpoians from harming him. Ira deals with the mantis, shrimp, and Serpoians as a naked Okarun joins her in the fight, with Momo later arriving to provide support, and they defeat the Serpo-controlled mantis shrimp. All the combatants are then alarmed by the realm turning into water and the arrival of the plesiosaur, which Okarun recognizes as Nessie, as it slowly kills off the Serpoians. The mantis shrimp also becomes stronger with the aquatic environment and knocks out Era, causing Momo and Okarun to panic. Okarun implores Momo to understand and open up to him if she feels upset amidst the chaos, and they rescue Ira and escape the aliens. Momo and a resuscitated Ira strip down to their undergarments to not be weighed down by the water, while the remaining Serpo, fed up with the incompetence of their allies, forcibly merges with Nessie and the mantis shrimp. Momo, Okarun, and Aira initially struggle fighting the fused alien, but after learning of its weaknesses, they work together to defeat the alien and return to their real school. Although relieved, the entire school misinterprets the three streaking and engaging in sex, much to their horror and embarrassment. Momo and Ira sulk in despair following the incident as the girls and Okarun discuss what the goals of the aliens were. Meanwhile, when Ira's classmates conspire to harass Momo amid rumors Ira had spread of the latter, Ira takes full accountability of her actions and asks them to not slander Momo further. Ira later meets with Momo as they confront the wounded mantis shrimp, whom they take to Seiko's house. After eating dinner, the mantis shrimp explains his son Chiquitita is at risk of dying due to constantly losing blood. Hearing this, Seiko provides him a glass of milk, which the mantis shrimp realizes is an equivalent to his blood. Overjoyed, the mantis shrimp is allowed by Seiko to abduct a cow and gives his thanks, promising to help the group if they need him. A few minutes later, a visitor arrives at the house, who Momo recognizes as Jin, Gigi, and Joji. When Seiko reveals Gigi is Momo's childhood friend and first love, shocking Okarun. Seiko reveals Gigi will be staying with them due to his parents being hospitalized. Gigi later discloses to Momo that his parents are victims of supernatural circumstances, leading him to seek out Seiko under the recommendation of various spirit mediums. While Gigi transfers to Momo and Okarun's school, Okarun grows anxious and jealous with Gigi bantering with Momo, causing him to assume Momo will cut ties with him if she starts dating Gigi. As he leaves Momo and Gigi during one occasion, Okarun encounters a sentient anatomical model named Taro running away, leading him to call out Momo. Momo then notices a shiny object under Taro's groin, which she assumes is Okarun's remaining Kintama. Momo, Okarun, and a confused Gigi chase Taro throughout the city, and they follow him to a junkyard, where Taro reunites with another anatomical model named Hana. After hearing Taro's proclamation of love to Hana, Okarun becomes inspired to continue fighting for Momo. After realizing the Kintama Momo saw was just a Christmas ornament, the group takes Hana to Seiko's house where they wait for Taro to visit, as Gigi increasingly experiences hallucinations of the spirit responsible for his parents' illness. Momo, Gigi, and Okarun travel to Gigi's cursed house as Okarun continues to be jealous of Momo and Gigi bonding. Remembering Taro's proclamation, Okarun tries to catch Momo's attention with his interests, though he manages to get Gigi interested to his surprise. They arrive at Gigi's house, unaware they are being watched. Momo notices nothing out of the ordinary and suspects the spirit is hiding, prompting her to tell Okarun and Gigi to stay and rest as she travels back into town to visit an onsen alone. Okarun is forced to bond with Gigi, and they discuss what they like about Momo. Meanwhile, at an onsen, Momo is suddenly cornered by a group of men as Okarun and Gigi notice a new room at his house. After breaching its fake wall, the boys discover the room is filled with talismans.